Hey everybody, this is Carl Schaffhorst from the Sandler Performance Center here to supercharge your sales career. And today I want to talk about this self-concept issue that tends to, drive how well we perform in our role. What we believe about ourselves either hinders, holds back, or propels forward the things that we do over here where success might lie, right? Our self-concept is hugely important, and we also talked about how a vast majority of our people think that they're just average, that they conform to everybody else, that they're not exceptional, they're just like everyone else, and therefore the results kind of track with that. And oftentimes what happens is that we might have moments of success, but once we have success, we tend to sabotage that and then have moments of, failure, and then we don't like that, and so we work hard to get back to our comfort zone, and so you get this phenomenon. I even shared with you my story. The question is how do we then conceptually improve ourselves so that we can raise our comfort zone up higher and higher, so that perhaps we can have the type of performance that is consistent with winners, people who believe that they will accomplish their goals and go out and then do it. Folks, I'm going to kind of give you Dave Sandler's story because he struggled, he had failure, right? And what he basically did is he journaled, and I would encourage you all to journal. That is a high performance habit. We'll talk about that later. But what he would do is in the morning, he would basically establish for himself these things that he called I goals. Now, I goals, what is that? Remember, I stands for identity. That's our self-concept, our self-esteem, if you will. If I'm going to make an I goal, what is that? What would that sound like? How about this? I'm confident, right? How about I can do all things? Confident. I can do all, right? I can do all. And on you could go. You can make a whole bunch of these self-affirmation statements. And believe me, when Sandler was initially teaching me self-affirmations for the first time, I thought, you got to be kidding me. I'm not doing that stuff. But folks, there's a tremendous amount of data out there that says self-affirmations are very powerful. If you're trying to change your belief system about who you are, then we have to speak it to ourselves and consistently with discipline. If you're looking for a resource that is just chock full of self-affirmations, I'm going to lead you to the Holy Bible. The Bible is filled with that. I think the world, the enemy, is always trying to tell you who you are not, and then God is always trying to tell you who you are because He's the one that made you. And so the Bible is filled with things like you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Be courageous, be strong. Do not be discouraged. Do not be terrified. Do not be fearful. I gave you a spirit of power, not a spirit of timidity. These are the promises that God has made to us. This is what He tells us who we are. And so, folks, line these things up. Pull those things out. Speak them to yourself. In fact, at one time I made a narrative pulling all these things right out of Scripture. And then in third person spoke it back to myself. It was about a 5-minute narrative. And I would Bluetooth that into my car, and every morning that would speak to me about who I really am. And I'm going to tell you what, do you think I would perform better that day? I mean, it really has an impact, and especially if you do it over and over and over again. So this is what the I goals are. Then what he also would do is he would set our goals, right? He would set our goals for the day, and these we're going to understand more. Now, the goals that he would set are not the goals like, hey, I want to check email, I want to make some phone call or talk to some customer service people, or the tasks, the routine tasks that often are reactive and have to be done. The type of things he would put over here are the behaviors that absolutely would move the revenue line. Things like number of appointments, number of calls, right? Prospecting calls, number of referrals that he would get throughout the day. And these are the things that he would set goals on, okay? And so the day would happen. He would go out there and he would establish high identity goals, and then he would go out there and then he would see how he would perform in the role, and then in the evening he would reconcile all that and then score himself to see how he actually felt. And folks, there's magic that happens when you do this. And so I'm going to tell you Dave Sandler's story on a future podcast, but I really want you to understand and grasp this concept of journaling this stuff. Journal why you feel the way you feel. Journal about the things that you're grateful for. Journal about who you are as a human being. And folks, this has a powerful impact on your self-concept. And the journaling process can begin to move your concept up higher and higher and higher. Journaling about conceptually what you believe about yourself, and then journal about the tough things that you want to get done during the day. This can absolutely help you improve as a sales professional. So in the comments below, tell us how you're going to work this in to your regular behavioral routine, journaling. This is Carl Shapbush from the Sandler Performance Center, wishing you all a great day of selling success. So long, everybody.